It is a housing dilemma that a lot of parents are facing right now as students trade in home for the dorms. Stay put, downsize, relocate. When Good Day Seattle continues, we are talking about that right now. As it turns out, this is a big issue as some of the kids are heading off to school. What to do with the space in your home that they previously took up. And whether your kids left for school or work, you may struggle to figure out what's next for your home now that fewer people are in it. So we called in a local expert to offer a bit of advice. Joining us now in studio, the founder and CEO of Rexmont Real Estate, Adriano Tori, is here once again this morning. Adriano, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So this is an interesting topic. Now, in your experience, when kids go off to school, do you have conversations with potential clients about what to do with their property now that they are at least part-time empty nesters?
It's very common for empty nesters to grapple with the next steps when their kids leave the house, right? And that is, as we are known, or we are aware of, the empty nester syndrome.
Right.
And so one of the dilemmas that they face is the emotional and logistical challenge in making these decisions. Emotional because they are attached to the family home.
Sure.
And challenging because sometimes we're trying to figure out this question of whether it's good to downsize or just relocate to a different area altogether. Now, with this, according to our latest National Association of Realtor data, so we are seeing that about 52% of the home sellers are over 55 years old. So that's a lot of home sellers in the baby boomer generation right now who are looking to downsize or looking to the options to potentially moving into a different place.
So what are the things that empty nesters should consider when it comes to their property?
So the first thing is to have an internal conversation, whether this is the right move to make, especially in this stage in their life, by consulting to a financial, a professional or a real estate expert, in the field that will help them set up a clear path when it comes to their options. Other options in terms of being able to stay in the home will be on looking into empty spaces around the house, right, that are being unused, that could potentially turn into a functional areas in the property, potentially, adding extra income when it comes to cash flow. So
you're talking about renting out part of the house potentially?
Renting out part of the house potentially. It could be the basement, it could be an accessory dwelling unit, separate to the property that they may envision to build. So those are options that they definitely should consider.
Okay, so for people looking to downsize in this market with interest rates so high, what would you suggest to them about a possible downsize move?
So the first thing to consider is chatting with a tax person, right? So this will definitely help strategize and set up a personalized profile where the implications, the tax implications may be favorable or may be on that part of the downside. The second on this will be looking into the major benefits of making this move. If it's the move that they are planning to make, is that going to be easing up their lifestyle? Is that going to be improving the way that they live around a potential new community? And then ultimately, how this decision will impact the overall years, down the road as they envision themselves in this new community.
Right, because just because the kids went off to college doesn't mean they're gone forever. I mean, they're going to come back for the holidays and so forth, right? Okay, so when the kids are out of the house, we do have a bit more time for ourselves, and some people look around their house and they say, hey, it would be nice to do maybe a remodel in this area or maybe restructure the home in some way. You talked about a potential renter. When we're looking at those sorts of projects, which are the best for resale?
For resale. So what we have to keep into consideration is the fact that these projects or renovations need to take on a long-term planning. So basically, how would I be able to maximize my return on investment on what is appealing to buyers? So some of these things could be just as minor touches on the color schemes, which tend to be neutral, to appeal to a larger pool of buyers, or in other cases it could be that we are focusing on major upgrades that are appealing to buyers in terms of flexibility of rooms to be used as office spaces, could be multi-generational options as well that can be worked within the property setup. And the most important part in all this is to have a clear plan and a budget, right, to work with.
Absolutely. So a lot of planning needs to go into these decisions. Just because the kids went off to college doesn't mean, hey, we have the house all to ourselves, we can do this. But a good conversation to have for these empty nesters. The founder and CEO of Rexmont Real Estate, Adriano Tori, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate having me.
Appreciate your time.